Okay, just a couple of quick ones, Minister, before you go. Queensland about to open up its borders, particularly in New South Wales and Victoria. No doubt that is of relief to you as Tourism Minister, but does it also give you some anxiety when there is the threat coming from Queensland that if there is another outbreak, they won't hesitate to shut the borders again?
Look, I'm thrilled to see the borders reopen, but not as thrilled as the Queensland tourism industry will be. New South Wales and Victoria represent an $8 billion tourism market for Queensland. So that's a huge market that Queensland tourism businesses have been going without, and people will be very happy to see it open again. I urge people to book with confidence, at least because airlines, hotels, all of those companies have recognised that given the uncertainty that's out there need to be more flexible terms and conditions to be able to change your bookings, vary your terms in case you find a disruption. I understand that there's a high degree of anxiety about whether or not a state like Queensland that has shown a high propensity to whack the borders back in place at a moment's notice may disrupt those travel plans again. But for the sake of the tourism industry, I urge people to recognise the tourism businesses have pivoted, they've changed their terms and conditions. People should book with confidence knowing that should something unfortunate happen, they'll get their money back, they'll get another chance to have their trip and get out there and support Australia's tourism businesses because they sure as heck need it.
Sure, yeah, no doubt about that. Just finally, Minister, too, the cruise line industry wants to get back up and running again. It's confirmed that it will impose mandatory COVID tests for guests and crew before boarding, limit passenger numbers and conduct daily health monitoring and temperature checks for all on board. Are you satisfied with that?
Look, it's not a matter for me to be satisfied, it's a matter for the health officials to be satisfied. I'd make the observation that a daily COVID test just before you get on board is only as good as that day. We know that COVID has a 14-day incubation period potentially, and so you can not have it one day, but may well have it a few days later, having had it in your system, but it not showing up at that earlier point. So these are some of the concerns that clearly sectors like that will have to work through. I welcome the fact that they are doing the hard yards of trying to find ways to be able to safely reopen. And at some point, they will be able to safely reopen, but they're going to have to get through the hurdles with the health officials first.